I do not expect to hear anything for a while, Captain.
What a way to spend Saturday night.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week I watched Frogtown 2, also known as Return to Frogtown, and this 1992 film was directed by Donald G. Jackson and stars Robert Z'Dar, Denise Duff, and Byron James, among others of course. The story of this movie doesn't quite take place after the first Frogtown, or the first movie is called Hell Comes to Frogtown, and with this one it stars Sam Hell as well. With this one, though, it's no longer Roddy Rowdy Piper, it is Robert Z'Dar. So Robert Z'Dar as Sam Hell in this one. And he is a Rocket Ranger. I think they actually say it's like Texas Rocket Rangers. And so they're kind of in charge of patrolling the border between Frogtown and, human society, I guess. And so they have like rocket packs and they kind of fly around. And then he's sent on a mission to rescue someone from Frogtown. So he goes there with his partner, who then, also gets captured. And so now he has to rescue not only the original capturee, but also his partner as well. What will happen though? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. All right, so let's discuss this movie. Well, I'll start off with talking about the elephant in the room. And that is not as good as the original. In the original, Roddy Rowdy Piper is, Sam Hell, but just the production level of it is just a lot better than this one. This one is clearly, a made-for-TV movie, and it's even in the, 16:14 kind of ratio. And so it's just, a square in the middle of, modern-day TVs. And the production, like everything else, is not as good. Certainly the filming is not as good. Certainly the costumes, like some of these frog costumes, you think they could just reuse them from the first one, but it looks like they've lost quite a few, and there's only like one or two, I guess, costumes from the original one, and they're very underutilized. With this one, they even have like frog people and their skins are just painted green, but it's like clearly just a regular person. And so it's not as good, but at the same time, I would say, like, as a bad movie lover, there is stuff to enjoy with this one. Certainly, I enjoy kind of the cheesy kind of downgrade that this movie has received from the first one. There's no pink car, there's no explosive underwear, there's no kind of sexy scenes as well. So a lot of this one is just kind of a downgrade, but at the same time, for bad movie lovers, like, that's kind of what you wanted to see going into the next one. You just wanted to see kind of not necessarily a worse version, but maybe one that is certainly more in line with what you might expect from, other B movies out there. And one of my favorite things about this movie was Robert Z'Dar. He's a great B-movie actor. If you don't know him, he's a lot, I would say, but he's usually as like kind of a secondary character, or like, a heavy or a gangster, where it's just, someone to fight. And he's certainly known for his, unique appearance. So he has got the kind of this enlarged face that, I don't know, I just like looking at him and hearing him and seeing what he's doing. And so just walking around this post-apocalyptic world with him, I gotta say, was fun for me. He even tries to like have some kind of comedic timing, much like kind of the first movie, and it kind of works sometimes. Like, he's got some fun lines in here, and so maybe I'll clip one in here for you.
Did I forget to say happy landing? Need a hand?
Is that all you think about?
No, sometimes I think about food.
And so just walking around this world with Robert Z'Dar front and center, I gotta say, I really did enjoy that. And then with this movie, there are things that are just so kind of cheesy and corny that I have to laugh at them. With the flying effect, it's like right out of Rocket Man, so they are certainly just, superimposed, and you don't see anything like below the waist either. And so the flying effects are super cheesy, and then they have this ridiculous helmet that I couldn't help but chuckle at. And then what else? Oh, some of the writing stuff in this one just made me yell, like, what is going on at the screen? There is quite a few times, I would say like 3 or 4 times, where Robert Z'Dar just like does an exposition dump where he just tells you what's going on. But then there's like no reason or like thought of why he would know that. Like, it's really kind of strange, and you're just like, what? How do you know any of this? Like, you were not on screen, you're not there. And it's really kind of weird writing sometimes, but at the same time, like, that's what I'm there for with these bad movies, just to see how crazy they can get. And so this one certainly has those crazy moments that will make you say what. And lastly, I was actually kind of engaged with the story as well. Like, as it goes on, there's kind of more levels to the story that you think, and a few kind of not double crosses, but certainly crosses here or there. And you're just like, what? I never even saw that coming. So anytime you can subvert my expectations is a good one in this one. So it certainly has a few twists and turns that, I did enjoy when it came down to it. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, certainly, like, all of it that I talked about before can be probably included in this half. Certainly the film quality of it at 480p is not particularly good. And then, of course, the ratio, it's just a square box in the middle of your screen. So that certainly is not, preferred, but it is like the only available version of it on YouTube these days. So, you gotta take what you can get. I would say also with the costumes, like I said, some of them are just like painted green. And then the sets, aren't particularly good, and just like stuff like that. Like, it's just a bad movie all around, but as a bad movie enjoyer, like, that's what I'm there for. And so if you can, like a bad movie, this is one that's certainly bad enough to enjoy, I would say. As for a recommendation, well, certainly stay away from it if you're a regular audience trying to look for something good. With this one, it's a bad movie lover movie, and so if that's what you're into, just like myself, you can certainly press play on this one and enjoy. After all, it's Robert Z'Dar as the leading role. Like, what is there not to enjoy no matter what he's doing? Not only that, he's fighting giant mutant frogs. Like, come on, like, that's what I'm there for. So, press play if you want. As for a rating, well, I'm going to give it the hilariously bad score of 3.4. I did have quite a bit of fun with this movie, so if you did want to press play, it's out there for you to enjoy. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.